If you've been following my channel for a while, you might have seen that last year I spent a few months not posting anything and saying I was working on a project that had me busy. Today's video is about that project. I took a bit of time to actually release it because of a few problems that I'm not going to go into. But here it is. It is a Jazz that becomes a Prius. It's an exotic project because Jazz usually becomes a Porsche, which is a much wider and longer car than it is taller, while the Prius is more a tall car, not that wide, and quite long. So the distribution of volume for the car parts is very different, which becomes a big challenge when designing the robot mode. But this was a project that someone contacted me over on Codes, asking if I did a commission. I thought it was an interesting challenge to do, and I picked up the project. One of the key differences from this project to the other ones I've done before was the scale, since this figure was supposed to be at chug scale, meaning I had to keep it reasonably within the size of a deluxe and also in scale with other Optimus Primes, Bumblebees, whatever characters I had as a reference. So in my case, I used my Studio Series Optimus and my Titan's Return Bumblebee as a reference. While they may not be the best reference, considering this Jazz is supposed to be like a G1 version, it's still what I had and I think it worked out pretty good, which I will show you guys now. Okay, so let's start with the robot mode. Well, I think I pretty much got it right on point. It does look like Jazz. I got most of the details. The back got kind of square due to the backpack from the car, but it still has a reasonable backpack in my opinion. The car ends up having much more mass on top, so it ends up with a bigger backpack. But still, I think it looks pretty good. The only thing I wish I could have gotten better was like the head here. It has a bit of a cut, so the face goes a bit down further than the head. That's because I needed the clearance for the head to turn. But it still looks pretty good in my opinion. The neck also was kind of thin, but still looks pretty good. And I also had to add a bit more mass here on the side, since I couldn't really fit it anywhere else. But it still looks pretty good. So let's start with articulation. So yeah, like I showed, he has side to side movement to the head. Goes pretty much 90 degrees there, to the other side as well. There we go. And he can look pretty much all up. And if you can break a bit more his neck, but then it looks really weird. So let's fit there. Okay. The arms go all the way up, a bit more than 90 degrees. They go back, but they hit the wings. Forward. The elbow is only 90, unfortunately. It can go back as well, but that's not really useful. And the hand can go side to side due to transformation. Same thing on the other side. And technically you can move the arm like this, but it just looks broken. Yeah. He has a waist swivel. Unfortunately, no ab crunch. Yeah, I couldn't really fit the joint there. And the swivel kind of hits the backpack. You can force it a bit, but not really. It already gets a pretty good angle, so I think it's pretty good. The legs open up all the way to the side. He can do a full Van Damme. They go forwards. You have thigh swivel, knee joint a bit more than 90, but not too much. Here, let me show this leg. A bit more than 90, kind of hits the backpack. And you have ankle joint here. It's kind of limited. You can go a bit further, but since it's 3D printed, it's not really recommended. So yeah, I think I got pretty much most. Oh yeah, and the wings, you can reposition them, but since they're on a ball joint, they really should just stay here. Okay, I'll put it here, adjust. So for some size comparisons, let me put him a bit further back here. So here I have let me go a bit further back here. Okay, so here I have SS102 from Rise of the Beasts and Nemesis Prime, the SS38 mold. So you have two examples of Optimus Primes. I think I got the size pretty much well. If you look at the size charts from the G1 cartoon, Jazz is pretty much here at the height of Optimus's hip. So pretty much on both, it turned out pretty good. For some more random comparisons, I have SS93, which has a custom head that I'm working on, but this is pretty much just the SS93 hot rod. And here I have Titan's Return Bumblebee. For another size comparison, I don't really have a lot of current Chug, so that's a problem. I don't have any current Jazzes to compare. Don't have the Origins version, not the SS86. So yeah, those are the comparisons I have. And I also have another comparison from SS109 Megatron that might just want 2 pieces of him, but hopefully not. Let me put him here. Yeah, SS109 is a pretty big guy, so Jazz looks tiny behind him. Oh, and also he has his accessories. I printed 2 rifles. They are just the typical model. I ended up making 2 by mistake, but I kind of liked the dual wielding look. So he has a 5mm port on the hands. Just plug him in. And there. Put him there. And I think he looks pretty good dual wielding. So yeah, you're gonna get 2 of them. I'm not really good with poses, so let me find a good pose here. Oh. Sometimes the head comes undone, just adjust the backpack there, and okay. And adjust the ankle, and there we go. Okay, so let's transform him into the car mode. It's pretty much just the normal Jazz transformation, but it does have a few different tricks. So let's start by putting the hands here, and them inside the arms. Then we come around here, we lift up these pieces here. Then the neck, it does have a little tab right here, and a little hole right there. So you put the head up, then you can just pull the backpack. It's going to be a bit looser due to needing to fit for building the figure. So here it's a bit looser when you turn, so just turn it around and leave it like that for now. So now you're going to pull this up, press against this. There's a little hole right there and a little tab right there that lock up. Okay, so now you're going to turn the arm like this, turn the elbow, and you're going to put it back. Sometimes, since it's a ball joint, it does pop off. I thought it was better to be a little loose rather than it just breaking, since it is 3D printed and it's a bit weaker. Okay, so you're going to turn this while turning the arm. So this hole is going to lock up in that tab right, if I can get it to focus, right there. So turn it here, and then goes in there. And same thing on the other side. So turn here, goes in there, and there. Okay. So just line it up here and put the backpack over there. Okay, now we're going to work on the legs. So you come around here, there's the back shield, the back windshield. You're going to raise it like this. There's this hinge here. So raise it like that. Turn this back piece of the car here almost 90 degrees with the rest of the leg, and then turn this piece. And then you're going to turn it back. There's this huge tab here that goes into this huge slot here in the feet. And these will mostly line up. Just a little bit of fiddling and you should be okay. Okay, so let's go to the other side. Do the same thing. Lift it up right here. You need to turn it to this side because it needs the clearance here. If you don't do it, it does turn, but there's not that much clearance. Here, turn it here, fit it right there. Okay, now there's this tab here and that hole there. Going to connect them. Okay, so now we need to deal with these side doors. So in here they are a ball joint with a hinge and another ball joint right there. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn it, this ball joint, this one probably will have turned, then you turn the hinge here and put it through there and just leave it for now. Same thing on the other side, turn it to here, turn the ball joint and then the hinge and leave it like that for now. So you're going to turn, there's a hinge right there. It's kind of like Combiner Wars figures, but not quite. Then you're going to turn the hips while turning the knees. Put it through there. And then there are these holes in the hips and there are these stabs that go there. So go forward and line them up the best you can. And then we're going to pull this back piece and then the head is going to go inside there. So like this. Just line it up. Make sure this piece is out. And then we're going to put it down right here. So now let's see. Around here and we're going to press the top windshield here. There are these tabs that go around the gray piece inside there, like this and like this, and then we can kind of shove the side doors here and here, okay, there and there. Line it up here. And now we can line up the legs here and here. This piece sometimes like to fight a bit, so let's line it up here and here. So we're going to close there and there. There are little holes there that go into the tab. Line it up, line everything up, and you should, let me adjust the camera. You should be done. You might need to adjust a bit. Okay. And there it is. The Toyota Prius from 2007. Let me just adjust it. I think it turned out pretty good. Sometimes you kind of have to finagle a bit of the pieces, but I think that's pretty natural given it's a 3D print. And some things don't really like to cooperate when it's 3D printed, but I'm pretty happy with the result. It does roll. My table isn't really good at that, and since it's not pinned wheels, it's a bit tough to get it to roll correctly. But still, I think it turned out pretty well. Okay, and so I'm going to make a few comparisons. So here he is with Titan's Return Bumblebee. I think it scales pretty well. Just turn it here. Here he is with SS102 Optimus. Again, I think it looks pretty good. Usually, Chug and Studio Series don't really follow a very good and precise car scale. Mostly the priority is the robots, so I didn't really have a standard to follow to know what scale it should be, but I think it turned out pretty good. With SS38, again, it's the Nemesis Prime version. I don't have the normal Prime colors, but the size is still the same. And it looks pretty good in my opinion. Quite believable. And again, kind of random, but it's one that I have with SS93 Hot Rod. So still pretty good. I haven't really seen a Lamborghini side by side with a Prius, but I think it mostly seems correct. So yeah. Oh, and also there, unfortunately, there is no vehicle mode weapon storage. Since I wanted the car to look the best it could, I couldn't really fit any place to put it. So yeah, unfortunately there is no storage. Overall, I would say this project was a success, as both me and the client liked it. I think this is my best project up to now, at least in the 3D printing Transformers side of things. I learned a lot of things, such as using screws rather than the filaments. Well, it is kind of an obvious thing to do. Using the filaments was pretty practical, so losing that is kind of a bummer, but using the screws allows me to prototype it much easier, because sometimes what would happen when I used the filament is that I would lose a piece, because the filament got stuck in there and I couldn't take it out, and then I could lose like a whole leg. Which, when I was doing Pro or Star Saber that are a bit smaller, that wasn't an issue. But with Pro, some pieces could take up to 3 to 4 hours. So if I lost 2 pieces that were stuck together, that could be like a whole day of printing just so I could get the pieces again to test it out, which was a big issue. So using the screws not only helped in that, it also helped me in being more tolerant with the joint tightness, because I could just use the screw to tighten it a bit. So even if the joint was a bit loose, I didn't have to worry as much, because the screw could take give a bit of tolerance to that. So for the next projects, I do think I will be using that. One important thing to mention is that I won't be selling this project, because it was a commission, so it is just for the client. So this video is more just me showing you guys the project rather than talking about it and trying to sell it. And another thing to mention is that those car enthusiasts in you might have seen that the Prius isn't exactly a Prius. I didn't do every single detail, in part because most of them wouldn't even show up during the print because my printer isn't the best, but also because I wouldn't want having Toyota come after me, because you know, car manufacturers, they tend to be very protective of their car shapes. So I didn't put things like the logo, some details, so it's more inspired by the Prius rather than being exactly a Prius. I hope you liked this project, so subscribe and give the video a like if you liked it, and stay tuned for more. Bye!